camber is everything. You want camber going through the turn to maximize your tire contact patch so you have as much grip as possible so you can take the turns as fast as possible. So here I've just got a piece of 90-degree angle, and you can see with the car suspension in full droop, it's almost at 0 degrees of camber, pretty much square with the ground. But as I start to jack up the suspension, which simulates taking the car through a turn and the wheel compresses into the fender well, you can see here that there starts to create a gap on the top. And we can even look at this a little bit closer, but you can see now at the top there's a gap. And what that's doing is that's actually adding camber, which is the right thing we want, because as we're going through a turn, you want camber to increase so that the tire stays flat with the ground and you have as much grip as possible. Now, the reason why your suspension geometry works like this is because of your lower control arm. And as you can see here, I've jacked it up to the point where it's almost completely horizontal. And this is the ideal point. So once you're going through a turn and it's compressed this much, it's pushed out the bottom of your wheel as much as possible to increase your camber. However, if you go through a turn faster and you compress your suspension more, it's going to start going inward. It actually rotates around the circle and begins pulling in the bottom of your wheel to the point it can even go into positive camber. And here's a picture of what my car looks like going through positive camber through a high-speed turn. Obviously, that's not ideal because now you've got basically just the outside of your tire running on the curb, which is going to reduce your contact patch, reduce the maximum amount of grip, and make the car start to slip. So what the SPL arms do is they take this point and they lower it. So it's basically doing what we call increasing your roll center height. So it's raising the roll center closer to the center of gravity of the car, which helps basically allow you to compress this suspension further and still have the increased camber that you're looking for as you're going through a turn, and basically reduces how much positive camber you gain when you go through a turn faster. So that's really the big opportunity here. Once you understand the suspension geometry, you see why this is a huge benefit without adding a bunch of static camber like camber plates do, or without putting extra stress on your front axles like some other modifications do. This is something that dynamically improves the traction of your car and allows you to go through turns faster.